Hey guys, happy Monday and welcome to another episode of Solving Your Stress mini-series. Hey everybody, happy Monday. Welcome to another episode of Solving Your Stress mini-series. I am your host, Sam, and once again, I have to thank my awesome business partner, John Salerno, for creating that intro for me. It never gets old, makes me smile. Hey, I hope you're starting this Monday with a smile, but maybe you're not, and that's why we're here. Hey, we talk about everything related to stress, and if this is your first time joining us today, welcome. I'm Sam. I'm your host. Brief background: 9/11 first responder, right there front and center on 9/11. Was in Tower 1 when the plane hit it. Post-traumatic stress diagnosis. A year plus after, kind of didn't know what was going on, and really had to dig deep and learn how to manage the stress, anxiety, and everything that's related to post-traumatic stress, and then stress on a daily, which helped me manage my triggers. And, we're just going to dive right in, because what is the number one thing that is really related to stress? It's our emotional response to it. And if we can get in front of that, if we can train ourselves not to have what's freak out mode, then we are better off. How many times have you found yourself in a stressful situation? You've planned for something, and then something comes in from left field, and bam, you're just flying off the handle. Come on, be honest. I'm raising my hand. Yes. The number one thing that we like to do to control stress is to exercise control. Okay. So if we're not planning on the thing coming out of left field, that can kind of throw a wrench in our plans. And that's when we feel the stress, we feel anxiety. And when our reptilian part of our brain takes over, that fight or flight, for those of you who are watching, who know what post-traumatic stress does and how it affects your brain, staying in fight or flight, not where you want to be. So what do we do? How do we take emotion out of it? Well, we've got to train. And last week I mentioned a book. I'm just going to show it here right now. It's called The Obstacle is the Way, Ryan Holiday. Highly recommend you pick up a copy. And, he talks about the art of not panicking. I'm just gonna read from this. Everything is planned down to the letter. Then something goes wrong, and the first thing we do is trade in our plan for a good old emotional freak out. Yes, we do. Okay. Uncertainty and fear are relieved by authority, and the training you do is the authority. Now, he gives a great example about before NASA's launch to the moon. Okay, these astronauts trained everything from the minute they got up that day, what they ate for breakfast, all of the steps, taking off, getting into space, walking on every single step. Now you can imagine it's like a bazillion steps, okay? But that allowed them not to have this freak out mode, not to go into fight or flight. Sure, was it scary? Heck yes, you're in a metal tube shot clear out of our atmosphere, and the next thing you know, you're walking on the moon. Yeah, kind of unexpected things could happen, scary things. So they plan for every what if, for lack of a better term. Now, we can't always plan for every single what if. We try, but in reality, we can't, because parts of life are uncontrolled, okay? But it's having the awareness and the understanding that life is not 100% in our control and things happen. But if we train to combat the stress, to combat the anxiety, we can alleviate our emotional response to it, stay in control, and be able to get through it. He goes on and talks about life being no different, that obstacles make us emotional, but the only way we'll survive or overcome them is by keeping those emotions in check. If we can keep steady no matter what happens, no matter how much external events can fluctuate, that is our goal. We keep calm, because frankly, you can't afford to be in freak out mode or in stress all the time or anxiety, because as we've talked about before, that leads to a cascade of other things like, well, besides you being just a jerk to everybody, health problems that come with it, the overwhelm leads to, if you stay in it, leads to heart issues, can lead to staying sick all the time with colds and lots of other different things, high blood pressure. We don't want to go there, okay? So what I want you to think about is every time something stressful comes up, the question in your mind should be, do I need to freak out about this? Most likely the answer is no. Because like it is for the astronauts, like it is for soldiers, for doctors, and for so many other professionals, the answer must be no. Because you practice for the situation and you can control yourself. Or no, because I caught myself and I'm able to realize that it doesn't add anything constructive. When we're in that panic, fight or flight mode from anxiety, from stress, we do not have the ability to detach, to recognize what is actually occurring, because that part, our thinking part of the brain, is turned off. And I know for those of you guys who have received a diagnosis of post-traumatic stress, you're watching this, you're like, yeah, been there, done that, where once we have a trigger, it's like, whoa, we're in the thing, we're in the trauma. And that's what we train to be out of. Well, it's the same thing. Break it down to stress and anxiety on a daily basis. So you don't have to be a soldier. You don't have to be an astronaut. You don't have to be a first responder, where we do train to manage those outside things, to keep a calm, cool head, because when stress comes up, bam, we drop into training and we can do our job. That's why we run towards the sound of bullets. That's why we run into a burning house. We are trained to handle that kind of stress, okay? Now it's what happens afterwards. The adrenaline comes down. Sometimes that doesn't always work, okay? This is the same application. We've got to train for what happens in the quiet moments after trauma as well. So when the things come up, when the stress comes up, when the anxiety, because what is post-traumatic stress? Stress. We've got to train for that as well. And whether it's reading this book to get some great nuggets, whether it's diving into deep with therapy, if that is what you need, whether it's learning, never stop learning. You can't predict all the twists and turns and the what ifs that are going to happen in the world, but you absolutely can predict and train your response to it. And that is the beautiful thing. We practice like we play. So we train, and we train hard. I know it sounds easy. It's not. The concept is simple, but it's not easy. You've got to take the time to train it. Again, once you train it, that's how you are going to respond to it. So let's learn to take the emotion out of our responses to stress and anxiety. Thank you for joining me today. Hey, if you want more, I've had this link up at the bottom right here, solveyourstress.com. You can sign up for my free training for 1 hour. You and I get to train together. There's a lot of other cool things over on that site if you'd like to check it out. And, if you are a first responder and you've been tuning in, I so appreciate your support. Check out abadgeofhonor.com. This is me, this is John, this is Jeff and John. We have come together. It's all about post-traumatic stress and suicide awareness for our law enforcement and first responder community. We've got an upcoming workshop Friday, November 5th, right here in the Dallas, Texas area, in Garland, Texas, to be specific, sponsored by the Garland Police Department. Huge shout out to them for being partners with us to do that. So you can take the emotional response to the stress that you feel, either post-trauma or just take it out of stress in general, because let's face it, we don't get a break as a first responder. We're boom, 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 one call to the next. But we've got to learn to handle that in the quiet moments when we are off duty. So you want to check that out if you are a first responder. You want, in general, to connect with me, send me your questions, send me your comments. Either website works great. I am here every Monday, 12:30 Central. We're talking about stress. I wish you a stress-free rest of your Monday. And until next time, everybody, Sam out.